Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to the coolest channel on YouTube. Thank you guys for taking the time to come and hang out with me. I'm really excited to share this video with you guys. This could be one of my favorite videos that I ever post on the channel. I'm going to be talking about my experience with ayahuasca, one of the most incredible, liberating, fulfilling experiences I've ever had in my life. And for those of you guys that are asking the deeper questions, that are exploring the spaces of your mind and the universe and just wondering what else there is to this three-dimensional reality that we're experiencing, this video is for you. If you've ever wondered about ayahuasca or wondered if it was for you, hopefully my experience with me sharing it with you will give you a little bit more insight. But I would like to preface this by saying I've done ayahuasca 5 different times now. Not one experience has been the same. I've talked to many people from around the world who have done ayahuasca as well, and nobody's experience is really the same. What's cool about it is we all go to the same place, but it's a totally different experience. And in this video, part number 2 of my journey with ayahuasca, I'm going to share my experience with y'all. So buckle up, get comfortable, and let's get this thing started. Alright, so in part number 1, I brought you guys along the journey and like all of the things that happened in my life with Dan and with everything that led me up to this ayahuasca experience. And I feel like ayahuasca calls you. You know, like it'll be calling you, and I know just by talking to a lot of you guys that like you feel the calling towards it, and that's when you know the time is right. You can never really like go out seeking it, but you'll know that the time is there. And that's kind of like, that's exactly what happened to me. All of the stars aligned and I ended up connecting with these shamans, and these shamans are very special to me. And when you go through an experience as deep and as wild and beautiful and liberating as ayahuasca is, you feel connected to the people that you do it with. And to this day, when I see the boys like Martin and Victor, I just have a big smile on my face, and they're happy, man. They're incredible human beings. So coming into this, they end up telling me, they're like, listen Jared, we're gonna have a ceremony in 3 weeks. We would love for you to be a part of it. And I'm like, yes, that sounds incredible. It'll give me some time to prepare for this. So I phoned up my buddy Andre, and I'm like, Andre, you gotta come down here. He's the one that told me about ayahuasca, and I'm like, Andre, you gotta come down here. We're gonna do this together, bro. It'll be absolutely amazing. And he ends up booking a flight, no questions asked, and he was ready. So I shared the itinerary with him, the PDF file that they give you in order to prepare for this. So I just want to go through and kind of like let you guys know. Preparation for ayahuasca. You need to switch off of the meat 2 weeks. Every shaman's different, but typically you'll eliminate meat out of your diet a couple of weeks coming into the ceremony. Now, obviously meat has energy from the animals that have died to give us the meat, and there's a lot of spiritual energy ties into the meat. So even most shamans that I know don't eat meat. For me, that wasn't really an option. I didn't do that. I ate meat right up until about 48 hours before the ceremony. But typically they'll want you on some fruit and some plant diet. Now, I fasted 36 hours coming into the ceremony. I wanted my body to be ready, clean, flushed out, and ready for the experience. Because typically what's going to happen is ayahuasca is extremely uncomfortable, and I'm going to share with you guys physically what happens to you when you take ayahuasca. You will drink this drink and you'll be fasted, and you can feel it moving through your body and working through, and you are purging through all of these things energetically, your body releasing the toxins, all of this stuff, and it is extremely uncomfortable. You will be puking, you will be shitting, you will be feeling like you are about to die. And I'll get into more of that as the video goes on when we actually attend the ceremony. But another really important thing that I want you guys to know is the shamans, and making sure that the shamans know what they're doing and that they are connected and they have experience in facilitating these ceremonies, because where you're about to go can be very sketchy, and some people lose their shit and cannot handle it and literally freak out. The shaman's responsibility is to hold the space for you, to make sure that you're safe, to make sure that you're okay, to have their tools and their instruments to chill your vibration down, and to be able to help you facilitate your soul leaving your body and going to the other side. So it's kind of important that they know what they're doing. And I've ended up being in ayahuasca ceremonies where like I'm losing it, like I'm like, oh, not like, yeah, I was losing it, and they can help calm you down, and they can help your vibration steady and help you transcend over to the other side safely. So Andre ends up showing up, we end up rolling out. This is so funny, man. Like, so I had no idea what we're about to experience, like, at all. I didn't know if we were gonna be like walking around tripping out like you're on mushrooms or something, or what the case was gonna be. So we didn't bring any blankets, any pillows, no nothing, just hoodies and pants. and it's cold here in the desert in the winter time. So we end up like packing into this little Toyota 4Runner, and end up driving out 35 minutes outside of Cabo to this little deserted spot on the beach. There was a concrete floor and a big palapa roof and about 30 local Mexicans sitting around in this circle, and no one was speaking English except for this one amazing girl that came over to us and could see that we were a little bit lost and ended up helping us. She's like, hey, do you guys need some extra blankets and pillows? I brought a bunch. She's like, help. And that's what's cool about the people, man, that do ayahuasca, is everybody understands that we're about to take the ride of a lifetime together, and they're all very understanding and very loving, and it was incredible, man. We didn't need to speak the same language to have that respect for each other, and it was phenomenal, man. The people really make the experience what it is. But we all sit down in this circle, and they have like all of their tools laid out. They have like their feathers, their horns, their drums, all of these, like this tobacco and these pipes, and these dudes are just like they're native, you know, and they're all like dressed up in their beautiful attire and stuff like that, and we're about to transcend into another dimension together. And I'm starting to get like a little bit anxious. I'm like, holy smokes, this is crazy. Thank God this girl hooked me up with a blanket and a pillow. And we all sit down and we're kind of like setting an intention going into this, and it's like, what do I want to experience? Why am I here? What needs to make this a win for me, you know, like what am I looking to get from this experience? We all sit down and we write our intentions out on a piece of paper, and the shaman goes around and he shared this story with me that I'm going to tell you guys, because to this day it's absolutely insane to me. So he was saying that he's held ceremonies and nobody knows each other, and everybody will do the plant medicine, and he's had people leave their bodies and meet in another dimension of reality, like a higher plane of existence, and realize that they knew each other from past lives, and that all of these different things ended up happening to bring them to this ceremony right here. And they'll wake up after their experience, start crying, like run over to each other and hug each other, and like really, you guys, mind-altering things happen. This reality that we're experiencing is nothing. It is a small blip of things that we can just like pick up with our five senses. So he says this, and I was just like, holy smokes, man. And he's also said that like people have taken ayahuasca and live an entire lifetimes over in other dimensions and then came back right to this one. You've like literally taken it, went and lived an entire lifetime, and then came back and realized that only 3 hours has went by, and learned so many different, like just really, really crazy things, man. So we end up sitting around and going through this ceremony, and again, this girl that's with us is like translating everything, super helpful, thank goodness, because no one spoke any English. Then it's time to start to take the medicine, and it's going around in each people. There was about 30 people in this circle, and they start here and they start moving their way around. Now this older lady takes her drink of medicine, and like it goes by about 7 more people since her, maybe 10 minutes goes by, and she's just like screaming at the top of her lungs. She screamed, I swear to you, for an hour and a half or 2 hours straight on the top of her lungs, was freaking out. Did not know what was going on, and I was like, holy smokes, that lady must have something to deal with. Like, this is crazy. We're sitting down, and it comes up to me, and I go up to Martin, and Martin is sitting there, and he's like, the little words, he's like, blessings, my friend, and he like passes me this shot glass of ayahuasca and blows smoke on me, basically blesses me, he's like clearing my energy, and I take this drink, and it tastes like soy sauce and dirt mixed together. It's really earthy, it's a really gross taste, and it is so bad. Literally, you will drink one drink and the thought of even having another sip will make you literally puke in your mouth. It is brutal, brutal. I can always, like every experience I do, I can usually get the first one down, and then when it comes to like the second or third, that's when I'm like starting to puke. So do this drink, and I lay down, and this is why you need to fast coming into it. I was laying down and I could feel the medicine just like ripping through my body and like clearing everything out. Everything. And it was crazy. And then I'm laying there, I'm going through it, and I would like go into like a deep meditation, and I was kind of coming like in and out. And then the shaman comes over, and he's like, hey, he's like basically like, todo bien? Like, are you good? And I was like, well, I'll do another one. So I do another drink, immediately just start like violently puking and like going to the bathroom, like getting up, walking to the bathroom, just like some fear and loathing stuff, like just like basically crawling to the bathroom. coming back, and then I laid there and I realized that we are going through life and we are carrying over so much baggage. All of these life experiences that we have, like every person who told you that you're an idiot, every dramatic situation that's happened since you were a child, are stored in our consciousness, and we are walking around with this weight in our mind, and we've been carrying it so long we don't even realize it. And it was like I was laying there and my body went to sleep, and I, like, literally the veil of reality, the blinds and the curtain just came peeling back, and I, like, it's hard to explain, but it was like, and then I was like out into like infinity, and for the first time was experiencing something where my mind wasn't in control. I wasn't making sense of things. I wasn't consciously trying to factually put things together so I could understand them in my mind. It was nothing. But it was everything all at the same time, and it was the most incredible freeing experience ever. And right away I was like, Dan, where are you? And boom, my body just gets hit with this like rush of pure love, the most amazing feeling ever. And I just started crying, and in that moment I was present, and he was there with me, and he said to me, he's like, now do you understand what I said when I would always be here with you? And then my body got hit again, bang, and I was just like vibrating, and I was just like crying so hard, because in that moment I understood, like, losing Dan was devastating to me, but it was also in this weird, crazy way beautiful because of the gift that he left me with. And then I got to see him on the other side, and it wasn't him in the physical form like, hey, that's Dan, I'm making sense of this. It was this familiar energy of this person and this soul that I've known forever and will always know. And he was there with me, and we were together. And I just started bawling my eyes out, and snot was running down my face, and like we just sat there. There was nothing I needed to say to him. There was nothing I needed to know in that moment. It was just pure bliss of just incredibleness. And just so you guys know, I feel like our souls are living in many different dimensions of reality, and I feel like we can access this place through meditation and by getting past our critical thinking mind. Now, I'm gonna fast forward this, and I'm gonna take you guys to my second journey with ayahuasca really quickly, because this was the most in-depth explanation, most informative experience I've ever had. So fast forward again, I'm doing ayahuasca for the second time, and I'm with like 5 of my very, very good friends, and we're doing a private ceremony around our swimming pool. And the shamans come once again. We do the medicine and stuff, and I'm trying to transcend over to the other side, and I was having a really, really rough time. It was hard. I did like 6 doses, mega dosing, and at that time I was going through like a party stage and stuff, so it was hard, and I was doing all these doses, and I was laying there, and I was like, Dan, where are you? Where are you? And I wanted to see him, and I wanted answers. The first time I didn't really get answers. This time I wanted to sit with him, and I wanted answers. So I'm laying there, and I feel like I'm gonna die. And I'm like, I call the shamans over, which is why it is so important that they are dialed in. And I'm like, Martin, please help me. I'm like, I asked for Dan to come, and something told me, a higher level told me, he is here with you, but you're not in the right vibration to receive him. Raise up your vibration. So I tell Martin to come over, and he brings this drum, and he gets over top of his drums, and boom. And it's like, for anybody who's done this and know what I'm talking about, it is insane. Mike was like shaking up my vibration, and he's like, take this drink, and he gives me another dose. I'm like, I can't drink that, man. Like, I can't drink it. And he's like, drink it. And he's like, drink it, and then close your eyes and do not open your eyes. I'm like, okay. So I drink it, literally immediately roll onto my back, and I'm like, oh God, buckle up. And he starts massaging my abdomen. And I can feel the medicine like ripping through my body. And then he starts giving me Reiki, and my eyes are closed, and he's shuffling the energy through my body. And it may sound crazy to you, some of you guys are gonna get this, some of you maybe not, but he was literally shuffling out all the stored shitty energy that I had and taking it out. And I opened my eyes, and I could see him taking on this energy and shifting it. Like, I could see it. It was bizarre. Anyways, he ends up leaving. I laid there for maybe 5 more minutes, calmed myself down, and then I was like, Dan, where are you? And he comes spiraling down. Listen to this, man, craziness. He comes spiraling down into this circle around my friends, and he's like going over top of my friends that were in the circle, and he's looking over top of them. And he's like, oh, your friend Dave's having a bad time. And I was like, motherfucker, I was like, what are you doing? I was like, get over here and talk to me. And it was this goofy Dan, like he was just like, comes ripping in and like totally just him and his energy. It was so amazing. And he's over top of everybody looking down. And I was like, motherfucker, get over here and come talk to me. And he comes over and he's like, I need to show you something. And I'm like, okay. And he starts replaying the relationships that I had with the people that were in that circle. And they were all brought there for an exact reason, to teach me something and for me to teach them and to learn, because nothing is a coincidence. And this was the biggest thing that I took away from this experience, is that nothing is a coincidence. Every single thing that we do in our life, right down to the step that we're taking, is so finely tuned in order to bring us to a certain experience in the present moment of now. Shows me my relationship with this person, and then he shows me my relationship with another friend that I had there, and how and we replay to this moment, rewind, and Dan and I are standing there, and I'm watching myself meet this person, this girl that I was very good friends with, watching me meet her, and our entire relationship playing out, how I needed to be friends with her and she needed to be friends with me, so we could bring each other to, so I could bring her to Cabo and she could teach me about marketing, and how all of these, and like all of this situation, and like insane, like no coincidences. And then he's like, I was asking him, I was like, so like, but what about you? Like, I was like, are you gonna reincarnate and come back to Earth? I'm like, what, how does that happen? And he's like, tells me, he's like, a part of me will always be here and a part of me will always be there. He's like, open your eyes. And I opened my eyes and I was laying under this palm tree, and like I could see the stars and stuff, and like how everything was connected, and it was like this energy coming off of everything. And he was showing me how everything is so finely in tune, like with the thoughts that we think, and like everything connecting to the stars, the energy, the life forms, how everything is breathing, like we're all here collectively doing this thing. And we're so disconnected from that. And again, like plant medicine is like pulling back the veil and seeing things. So I was literally sitting there with him, and like it was the most beautiful thing. And I was asking him all of these questions and he was answering me them. And I asked him, I was like, why did you come and visit me in the hotel room that night? What happened? And he's like, I needed to come and see you before it was too late. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, if I would have waited any longer, you wouldn't have been able to receive me. And I'm like, well, why didn't you go and see anyone else? And he's like, I tried, but they couldn't receive me. And I was like, what? And then so he basically was showing me that at that point in my consciousness, he slipped right in, because I was aware and I was able to receive him in that space that I was currently in before I was like unconscious, sleeping. And we have this beautiful experience, and I end up like dozing off. And what I want to share with you guys is, so I have this experience with him, and we literally sat there all night. And I was talking back and forth with him, and he was telling me what he was proud of and the areas that I needed to improve on. And like, although I've done so many amazing things up to that point, this was not the time to take my foot off of the gas. So I needed to double down and pay attention to the signs that are given. I'm gonna be given many signs, and it's up to me to be able to pay attention to those and to not let feeding into my ego and doing the things out of habit, following my soul and my calling. And you know what they are. It's just that we get so projected into who we think we are in these egotistical things to impress other people or to live up to other people's expectations. We forget what our soul is trying to say us, and we're so disconnected from our soul, and I just need to listen to that, is what he was saying. And we have this beautiful experience all night together, man. And I just want to share with you guys, without this video being too long, is we're walking around in life with these like backpacks and this identity that we have built about who we think we are based off of our past experiences. It's this mask of the ego that we're wearing. We're trying to live up to expectations, and we think we're this, and you know, like we got this image to portray. And there's something much deeper inside of us that is our soul, our loving, caring energy, our natural state of being. And when you do ayahuasca, it's like you get to peek over at the other side of life after death. Your body has a physical death. You go through a period of extreme discomfort to where you feel like you're gonna die, and then you need to surrender, and you have like an ego death. And who you think you are dies, and you transition over to the other side. As your body will go to sleep, you'll experience extreme discomfort, your body will go to sleep, and then your mind, your soul, your spirit will transition over to the other side. And we let go of everything that we know in this reality, and it's a hard thing to do. But on the other side of that fear, looking over the brick wall and getting to see that there's so much more to this experience that we're having, and it's so beautiful to just get to hang out there for a quick moment. Maybe see some people who have passed on, maybe to see the best version of ourselves, or to see what's possible for us, or to get answers on some shit that we have went through in our life. We've experienced traumatic situations, we've experienced a lot of shit, and it's nice to know that those situations don't need to define us. We can continue on and we can live with purpose and passion and love, and we don't need to carry along this backpack full of shit with us all of the time. At any given point, we can just take it off and breathe and realize that in the infinitum of time and space, this means nothing. All of these little situations that we place so much value on and that we allow to dictate our lives really mean nothing. You know, like we might have a couple of shitty things that happen to us. We might lose a loved one, or maybe the person that matters the most to us in this world leaves us. And we realize that, you know what, everything is happening for a reason. We are here for a higher purpose. And when we can truly grab onto that and understand it, we don't give so much weight and so much value to these little stupid arguments that we have with our loved ones, or little things that happen in our day. We don't let it destroy us for weeks. You know, and just realizing that we are powerful beyond measure and that we are capable of doing amazing things. And I think it's very, very important that we stay in tune with our true selves, and we don't let our ego take over and let our ego take us down a road of unfulfillment and following someone else's guidance along the way. We're here for a reason. There's a higher purpose at play here, and ayahuasca is a very beautiful tool that allows us to see that. So that's my experience. Like I said, I've done ayahuasca 5 times. I don't want this video to be 5 hours long, but I just want to say I appreciate you guys watching this video. I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I know this one was kind of all over. I've shot this video like 10 times, and I was trying to like integrate all of the experiences that I've had into one video, and I didn't really understand, but I just wanted to lay this down, man. So if you guys have any questions or anything that you guys want to know, drop them in the comments and I will answer every single one of you guys. Thank you guys for tuning into the video, man. I'll see you on part number 3.